My boyfriend's friend filmed his girlfriend without her knowing and showed his friends. I said it was sickening and unforgivable, and my boyfriend told me to get off my high horse. Context: the filming happened 25 years ago. Him and his friend are 47 now. I just learned about this and reacted with disgust. Edit: the filming happened 25 years ago and he showed it to his friends immediately after. My boyfriend said it was a bad thing to do, but the filming and showing of non-consensual porn by his friend should be forgiven because he was in his 20s and stupid, and that the girl never knew / will never know. I said his reasoning was terrible and felt sorry for the poor girl, and asked if I told him that someone in their 20s filmed me unknowingly and showed it to all his friends, would he say the same thing to me, that the guy was 20 and stupid and he told me to get off my high horse, and that his friend is a great guy. His friend now seems like a decent person and has a loving family. He's done other awful things in his past, for instance, invited his friends to hide in his closet while he had sex with someone without her knowing. My boyfriend said he hid because he didn't believe he would actually do it, and when the sex started happening he turned away. I guess I believe my boyfriend, but it makes me very uncomfortable. I know this was 25 years ago and people change. His friend does seem like a decent person now, but I'm upset my boyfriend isn't as disapproving of this and got annoyed at me for being upset by it. Am I overreacting? Edit: his friend's actions are unforgivable, and from other things my now ex has told me and how people have made me question them, I do not believe he is a decent man from what I know of him. As a victim of abuse, I thought I would be smart enough to recognize it. I wasn't. Thank you to everyone who has comforted me and offered me advice. This has gone beyond my original post, but I realize his issues are much deeper than this, and I'm overwhelmed. I won't be seeing him again. I will be looking at therapy. From your other comments, year 23. There is a reason women his age do not want to date him. Telling a girl in her 20s that he was only in his 20s, so it's not a big deal, is really something else. This is why the Me Too movement exists. Because people like your boyfriend and his friend normalized horrible shit for years and years and made god awful excuses like boys will be boys or oh we were just joking and having fun. It was just locker room talk, and he was young and stupid. Fuck him. If they were young and stupid he should have grown up and learned better. It doesn't sound like any of them have grown at all. They sound proud of it. He says his friend, now married with a kid, discusses his past flings with them when they have their boys' nights. I found that distasteful, but other than that he currently seems okay. I still believe what he did was unforgivable. Both him and my boyfriend have the sexual humor of teenagers. I'm worried there are things my boyfriend has done that he won't tell me because he's friends with this sort of person. However, I don't know how to judge this or what to think. This is about more than sexual humor, and I think you know that. This is a framework through which they view women as fun memories rather than real people whose trust they betrayed and hurt grievously. If this is what they discuss with you publicly, I wonder what they keep to themselves or don't discuss at all. Yup, your BF is a scum. Sorry, watch out for things people talk about. Find interesting what they approve / disapprove of. This is who they are. Your BF doesn't care because the poor girl doesn't know about it. So why care? Exclamation mark. This is his logic. A morally just person won't care if the person knew or not. They won't approve because it doesn't sit with their spirit. Your BF isn't a person of value. When I told my other male friends, they sympathized and reacted how I thought someone would, with disgust and no sympathy for the abuser or for how long ago it happened. My boyfriend says this is a reason we have a criminal system with statutes of limitations, because people should be forgiven after a period of time. Edit: thank you so much to all of you who have taught me what this statute really means. I was completely ignorant and took my boyfriend's word, never bothering to look it up. I'm saddened he used this to justify forgiving his friend's actions. Your boyfriend is more worried about the predator than the victim, and he wants them to be forgiven after a certain time exactly because he wants his friend to get away with it. And I won't be surprised if your boyfriend is also projecting his own fear of being caught at something. Of course, the 47 years dating a 23 years is scum. How do your parents feel about him? Actually, is he older than them? He's not older. My parents are abusive, so I don't tell them anything about my life. I never really think about our age gap. because he doesn't act his age. Now I feel like he's with someone younger because he has the mental development of a deviant teenager and he can act that age around me. I don't think someone his age would deal with that. When he said this, I reminded of the age gap, and it was a massive reality check. I don't think I know what I'm doing. I won't be seeing him again. Please stick to this promise to yourself, and don't see him again. When one grows up in an abusive situation, it is so easy to continue the cycles of abuse in relationships. Based on some of your other comments, it is pretty obvious to me that he is abusive to you. Physical abuse is not the only kind. You shouldn't have to try to change the person that you're with. They should just be a decent person without you attempting to guide them. Those are your first red flags to exit a relationship quickly. Please try to find someone who always treats you with respect. Even when that person is upset with you, you deserve to have a healthy relationship. I bet my whole life that has shown all his friends any nudes you've sent him. Especially BC, you're so young and they're so much older. You're his prize. And he doesn't respect women, which includes you. Close bracket. A few people have said this. I'm worried. I've sent him almost nude photos in a thong showing progress on my glutes and in a new bra, but never nudes. I'll never know if he's ever filmed me or taken photos or shared them, or who he's shown. I'll bet he has shown them to his friends. Yuck. Your boyfriend approves of it because they are both equally despicable. That's your answer. A good person would be horrified and cut ties with someone capable of doing something like that to his girlfriend. A woman he should have loved and cared for. Not to mention a person who legitimately changed for the better would be remorseful about their actions. Your boyfriend and his friend are clearly not. Also, who cares whether or not the guy seems like a decent person? Your friendly neighborhood wife beater or rapist probably seems like a perfectly decent person. Right up until the moment the police knock on their door with a pair of handcuffs. Your boyfriend and this man, they are not good people. Not yet. And at this rate they probably never will be. I hadn't thought of that. He should cut ties the second it happened. Yet he was with him through his other sex crimes. And here he is 25 years later bringing it up in casual conversation and even defending his friend by putting me down. I don't know what to do. I didn't think I was with a person like this. It's been 2 years. He was with him through his other sex crimes. Other sex crimes? As in, your boyfriend participated in and is now defending these sex crimes? This is a non-negotiable red flag. I've been with my so for a decade, I'd leave him if I found out this. I saw some of your replies. While your BF didn't directly do these things, he clearly seems to agree to them. This is a major red flag, so you should definitely look out for more. For example, I suggest you casually bring up a conversation about consent/non-consensual porn/nudes being leaked and see what his opinion about it is and see how it reacts. Hope this helps. He's told me he's looked up leaked nudes of celebrities. I know millions of people have, but I thought this was a shitty thing to do. Doesn't matter if they are out in public. He said he's worried about the Me Too movement, and it has a bad side because of all the false accusations. I had to talk him through the statistics for hours before he finally understood. He also repeats that he's never had a Me Too moment. So if someone says something, it's not true, which I find very odd. These are major red flags. His views on this stuff is really concerning to me. But the main question is, do you think his opinion on this stuff is a deal breaker for you? Is it enough to make you not like him? Because for me, it would have been. Both of these guys still sound like a couple of adolescents. If they haven't grown up by now, they never will. Being 20 years old is never an excuse. 20 years old is well past the age of knowing what is right and wrong. I may be completely off base here, but have you considered that may be the reason your boyfriend is so defensive about this is because it may have been him that secretly filmed his girlfriend back then, that he pinned it on his friend to see how you would react without consequence, and now that he sees how upset you are by it, rightfully so, he feels judged and feels the need to justify it. It never even crossed my mind. He'd be a true psychopath if that's what he did. I can't believe it. I don't want to throw that accusation, but I hope this isn't the case. Okay, this cowgirl is gonna find another high horse to ride. Bye, Francis. This was a much needed laugh. Thank you, stranger. Even his argument about this being a long time ago and people being stupid in their 20s says a lot about what he thinks of you. I didn't even think of this either. I wonder if he ever even respected my decisions or views, or dismissed it as oh she's 20 she doesn't know anything, seeing as that's his excuse for himself and his friend. The major red flag for me here is that they're still talking about this 25 years later. Clearly they aren't sorry for what they did, nor do they feel guilty, as they would otherwise choose to bury this as far down in their memories and never speak about it again. It seems like they're talking about this as if it's the good old times. I reminisce with my friends, but at no point would we bring up stuff we're ashamed of. We only bring up happy and fun times. Clearly to them, these acts are fond memories. Your boyfriend is awful. Leave him. You know it's all kinds of wrong. And if he's telling you to get off your high horse now, then has never changed and never will. I was hoping this wasn't the case. If I bring it up he'll get defensive of his friend, which I don't understand. He insists he's changed, but I will never know. For now I've said I don't want to be around this particular friend. When I said that he got upset again and said I'm extremely judgmental. Am I overreacting in not wanting to be around this friend? You are underreacting by not leaving him stat. Who knows what else those two have done? They're both disgusting. Does he still have this video? Does he still share it? Question mark? Question mark? Is it possible there's one of you that you don't know about? To some disgusting men this kind of behavior is normal to them. I knew a lot of this type when I was younger. They usually hang out together. Hopefully they all have grown up and learned this is not okay. Years ago my so and his friends would take pictures and show each other without us girls knowing. Now they seem mortified and embarrassed of this past behavior. Your boyfriend seems to defend it. Edit. I just read your other comments. Your BF doesn't sound like he has respect for women in general. I'm so sorry he got you pregnant and you had to go through all of that. The kicking you out for no reason is unforgivable. Also, what kind of man kicks a woman with no car out in the middle of night? Question mark? Not okay. Do you think it's possible he was talking to other women, maybe? An old booty call called up. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you? You said he is 47. As far as I know the video is gone. But I don't know if I trust him. And seeing as he said his friend discusses his past flings, I don't know if they discuss this too. I'm 23. I was with him because we share a love for similar things. Science and space and movies and such, and work together. As of now I don't think I can see him again. Dump him yesterday. His friend is not a good person. Evil bastards don't have all day evil activities. He's still evil. Sorry, I'm confused about the hiding in the closet while he had sex with someone without her knowing. Did this dude rape someone while his friends watched in the closet? Also yeah, your BF is scum. She consented to sex. She didn't consent to being watched. His friend is absolute scum and a predator. I can't process how these words came out of his mouth in such a casual manner. Jokingly. Your BF is showing the same behavior as a cop. If he covers for his friend's actions, others will cover for him. I would put good money on the fact that your BF did scummy things like that in his youth. A lot of people do really stupid things, yes, even in their 20s, but what they did wasn't stupid, it was criminal. Aside from sexual assault. Because that's what this was, is the fact that neither he or his friend regret their actions. Instead of saying, I can't believe he did that, I can't believe we did that. What a horrible thing to do. I think about this every day, and it will haunt me until I die. Instead of saying all that, he defends it? Question mark? Question mark? The same guy that kicks you out at 2 o'clock in the morning? Question mark? Question mark? Is this the person you want to have a relationship with? Question mark? Question mark? Your boyfriend is a asshole and part of rape culture. His friend now seems like a decent person and has a loving family. Apostrophe. Predators and many despicable people in general typically don't appear terrible until you find out their predatory/despicable actions yourself. David Schwimmer's movie Trust was based on over a decade of his involvement with the Rape Foundation, and he uses the example of the rapist being a loving father and family man who seduces young girls without his family's knowledge. I also remember an article written by a woman who was nearly raped by her good friend, who she'd thought was completely reliable person, an open-minded liberal, i.e. pro-women's rights, male she'd known for a while. I'm not saying to stop trusting people, but when you find evidence of wrongdoing, don't downplay it by considering the good things they done, especially if they don't show remorse, and especially as you're only in your 20s. As you've said in your other posts, I'd suggest just considering this a life lesson learned. You've got a lot of time and opportunities to find someone who'll give you the respect and true care you deserve. Showing that video didn't happen 25 years ago. It happened very recently. That video was made without consent 25 years ago and was shown without consent last week. People change, but this guy hasn't. Your boyfriend doesn't care about the relevant opinions of the women in his life. There's more than one guy in this story who needs to be an ex. There's nothing wrong with being on your high horse when you're right, and if your boyfriend dismisses you this easily, why is he your boyfriend? He showed immediately after filming, but I don't know if he still has the tape or if he's talked about it since. Regardless of when it happened, I find it sickening. He tried to convince me that 25 years is a long time and his friend has changed and that I was wrong to not like him. Something was nagging at me that I wasn't wrong, so I came to Reddit to hopefully hear other people's views on it, and my feelings were right. It's right to be upset about this, and to have it discussed so casually without any serious reflection other than it was a bad thing to do. People do dumb stuff when they are younger, but that never gives them the right to downplay the actions. It's even more concerning that they never ever told any of his victims that they were watched without consenting to it. The friend seemed like he did questionable things constantly, and that's not a one mistake. Forgive them event. Couples can have a different opinion on things, but him reacting badly that you don't agree is concerning, especially since you have your own experience. I would rethink this relationship if I was you. So you're 23 and your boyfriend is 47. Ever think there was a reason he hasn't been able to make a relationship work despite being damn near 50? It's because of shit like this. This guy is a pig and that's justifying his pig friend's shitty past behavior. Get the duck out. I think it's totally justified to think that they're being assholes. I wouldn't want to be that girl either, and it's terrifying that there might be someone I trusted who is circulating these things to people I don't know in the name of shits and giggles. Realistically, as much as we internet people like to say leave him, I understand that it's difficult to do that solely in response to this situation. My advice is to still take a note of this and think about it. It will and should be a huge consideration when you plan on moving on to the next step of the relationship. While he did not commit any wrongdoing, where your values and morals stand will stay with your relationship in the long term. I wouldn't want a lifelong partner with this kind of mentality. If he was a good and decent guy, he would realize what he had done was wrong and would stop showing it to people. Well, now you know what kind of guy your BF is. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.